Hello and welcome again, ladies, gentlemen, and all them binary fellas. It is yours truly, Jake Flame, and as I am recording this, it is right now December 31st of 2022, which means it is almost time to celebrate the new year. That's right. So I thought we'd do a very special video of Daniel X Lights Out. That's right. So, before I begin reading the book, I just want to wish everybody a Happy New Year. I also want to let y'all know, for all of y'all who have been having a troubling year, today is the best time to forget all about your problems that you've have been dealing with this past year, because now we're going to have a new year, 2023. The best thing about having a new year is that you get to start everything over.
Well, to be fair, not really.
Okay, well, yes, obviously, not technically. I mean, you can't rewind everything. Like, it's not Groundhog Day. But it's a figure of speech, pup. It just means you get to start a brand new 365 days. You get to do some things you never got to do in this year, and do them in the new year. Like, maybe you wanted to go see some place new, but you just didn't have the time to do it this year. Now you've got the time to do it for the new year. Or if there was a goal you wanted to achieve, like maybe you wanted to learn to speak Italian, or maybe you wanted to do a series of YouTube videos.
You mean like you?
No, I'm not talking about myself. I'm just saying. Or maybe you wanted to give back to the community, but you just didn't have the time for it. Now's the chance to be able to do that stuff. So yeah. In fact, at the ending of this video, I want you all to write down what you think your New Year's resolution is going to be. Okay? Because I really want to hear what y'all have to say. What is the big new thing y'all want to do this new year? What is your big plan? What kind of goal do y'all want set for yourself this year that you really want to stick to this time? Because, you know, that's what New Year's resolutions are for.
Really? They are?
Yes, puppy, that's exactly what New Year's resolutions are for.
It seems pretty weird if you ask me. I mean, what's the point of making it if you're not gonna?
That's what the resolution's all about. You make the resolution so that you actually do it. What's the point of making a resolution that you're not going to stick with? That just seems a little... It just doesn't make much sense.
I mean, I guess. Yeah.
Like, speaking of, what's your New Year's resolution, huh, pup?
Wait, me?
Yes, you. What is your big goal for this year? What do you want to do?
Huh. I mean, not sure. I guess I never really thought about it.
Well, now's the perfect time to think about it. Just right off the top of your little head, tell us.
Well, I guess I'd want to be a bit more active on the channel.
Really? You want to be a bit more active on the channel?
Yeah, you know, I mean, this is pretty fun. I want to keep doing more of it.
I mean, okay, sure, we can totally do that. I mean, it might take a while, financially speaking, but yeah, we could totally come up with some newer video ideas to keep you active on this this whole YouTube thing. 'Cause, you know, mascot's gotta put in some work too.
So what about you?
Me?
Yeah, what are your New Year's resolutions?
I don't know. I guess I never really put much thought into it. I guess if I had to choose one thing out of everything I want to do this year as a New Year's resolution, I guess it would be... I don't know. Maybe it's spend a bit more time with the friends that I make.
Really? That's all? 'Cause, not gonna lie, seems lame.
It's not lame. I mean, to be fair, I do keep myself cooped up in this home a lot. It can get very boring.
Oh, you dare say that I am boring?
No, I did not say that. How could I ever be bored with you? I'm just saying, I have lots of friends. Shockingly, some outside of work. So, yeah.
I mean, alright, I guess that is fair.
Alright. So, want to get to this video? Want to get to this story now?
Oh yes, please.
Alright. Now, when we last left off in Daniel X, we were... Let's see... yes. The prayer had kidnapped Daniel's girlfriend, and he had teleported away from the farm and was making a deal with Daniel for him to give himself up in exchange for his girlfriend's life. And we had stopped at the beginning of part 2, heading home. That's right, because he was on his way to his childhood home in Kansas.
Where all the winds go sweeping down the plains.
You're thinking of Oklahoma.
What?
Oklahoma is where the winds go sweeping down the plains.
Then what about when the wind swept in the tornado in Wizard of Oz thing?
I'm pretty sure it was just a normal random tornado ordeal in the Wizard of Oz. To be fair, lots of weather disasters happen in a lot of places. All right. Now remember, y'all know the drill. If you enjoy watching and listening to these videos, make sure to hit that like button.
And make sure to hit the subscribe.
That's right. And leave a comment down below. And hit that bell icon on the subscription button as well. That way you're notified of any other videos that we might upload. So, without further ado, here we go.
How many chapters we reading?
How many chapters? Not sure. I guess it all really depends on how many we get through. Because we gotta watch the ball drop tonight.
Oh yeah, that's right. Speaking of, what time is it?
I have no idea. I did not bring a watch.
Well, okay, then let's hurry this on.
Okay. Chill. Now, Chapter 29. I remembered the house being so much bigger. Or maybe I had just been a whole lot smaller. I had teleported without incident from Kentucky to that what number 1 once called my pathetic little hovel in Kansas. My first home on Earth. That is, before it was burned to the ground by a murderous lunatic. The empty lot was too depressing to look at, so I recreated the place as I remembered it. It was a simple 2-story white clapboard farmhouse, where I had lived with my mom and dad more than a dozen years ago. It was no McMansion, that's for sure. It had 3 bedrooms, upstairs and downstairs bathrooms, a wraparound porch, a detached garage, and a big basement. It was located in the middle of nowhere, because nowhere is where alien hunters always needed to live. Lived in the middle of nowhere. Sounds like a whole Courage the Cowardly Dog scenario, don't you think?
Yeah, totally.
I walked around to the side of the house and studied the sheet of plywood nailed over what I remembered as the kitchen window. If you look closely, you could see the scorch marks lining the perimeter of the plywood. This was where number 1 had first exploded into my life, with a wall-shaking detonation, taking my mother by surprise. As I stood there, I heard her screams and sobs once again in my head. Then my father's voice. "Wait! Wait! Hold on! Lower the gun, my friend!" But the prayer hadn't lowered his weapon. Deafening, concussive blasts drowned out my father's voice. Agonizing blasts from an Opus 2424. When the shooting stopped, my father called out the last words he ever spoke to me in the real world. "We love you, Daniel. Always." And then, nothing. Just the clanging echo of the Opus 2424 hanging in the silence. I moved around to the rear of the house, my backyard, the place where I built my first model of Khufu's Great Pyramid out of sugar cubes instead of limestone blocks. I built it in HO scale, where 3.5 millimeters equals 1 real foot. I was only 2.5 years old at the time, but the pyramid was enormous and spectacular. At least until it rained. Well, that's what happens when you make a pyramid out of sugar cubes. Now I saw the sloped cellar doors sitting like an aluminum wedge of cheese up against the house's mildew-stained foundation. I knew I could pull up on the handles, squeak open the double doors, and descend a set of rickety wooden steps into the basement, the place where I first encountered the prayer. I remember I was trembling and pressing my small, vulnerable body against an old water heater, petrified about what had just happened to my mom and dad, when a beam of violet-tinged light shone down the stairs into the basement. Then I saw it. A 6.5-foot tall praying mantis. I sensed number 1 was a shapeshifter, able to assume any guise he chose. I could do the same, although I wasn't great at it just yet, being so young. As I reminisced, there was something about that awful night that seemed more vivid, more enhanced than I had ever remembered it before. I couldn't quite put my finger on what it was, but it was something seemingly insignificant that I had seen it in the basement as I hid behind that old water heater. It was some small detail that could be hugely important now. Relax your mind, Daniel. Xanthos' thoughts reached out to me across the miles. You can see more clearly when you let their visions come to you. There's something in here, I thought back. Something that will help me take down number 1. I can sense it. It will come to you if you let it. Just as a revelation suddenly came to me. What? After you left, I drifted off into a very deep, very meditative trance, mon. And I remembered something from the time long ago. I was not your father's only spiritual advisor, Daniel. The man, he loved to have a backup for everything he did. A plan B to go with his plan A. Okay, so who was this backup spiritual advisor? This he never did tell me. But I remember he called her his angel. He was your father's backup for me.
What the heck's going on, kid?
Nothing. Never mind. I found it. The bookmark. But yeah, that's pretty crazy, don't you think?
It's kind of weird if you ask me.
I mean, it's not too weird to have a backup plan for stuff, but... yeah. To be honest, having another spiritual advisor as a backup plan for situations like this, I'll admit, I didn't see coming. But it does raise some questions.
Yeah, I think I'm thinking what you're thinking.
Really? Then go ahead. Tell me what you think I might be thinking.
I'm thinking, you thinking, that girl Michaela from the train a few chapters back is a spiritual advisor.
Oh, so you do remember.
Does that mean I'm right?
Yes. I have a feeling that the girl that Daniel was sitting with on that train a few chapters back, it's a couple episodes ago, is probably this angel that Xanthos is talking about.
Only question now is it true?
Let's see. We'll have to find out. Chapter 30. Xanthos got me thinking. If my father had a backup spiritual advisor, what else might he have had a backup for? How about the most important tool in his possession? The list? The computer that acted like an ultra-secret wiki about the superpowered psychopathic aliens that were plaguing terra firma. I'd lost it when it ended up in number 1's Hospital of Horrors, yet my chances of finding it were less than 0. But if there was any way of learning numero uno's weakness, if he had one, it would be in the list. Maybe some part of my father's extremely sharp mind realized that there was a remote possibility that the information he gleaned from the high-tech computer might be compromised. That there could be a mole or a double agent working inside the highest levels of the Alpernokian Protectorship, feeding the list information for his, or its, own purposes. No matter how far-fetched such a conspiracy, it would still be, for my father anyway, what he called a potential possibility. And therefore, he would have a backup, a computer he knew he could trust. I walked across the yard and sat down in my old tire swing to think. Focus, Daniel, I heard my spiritual advisor say. Clear your mind. Concentrate only on what is important, man. I did as Xanthos advised. I blocked out everything except my internal search engine. It's like my own personal Google, and it can find anything, no matter how obscure, that has made even the faintest impression on my long or short-term memories. Search for computers, I said. Alpernokian models and makes. Knowing my dad, I figured he would have brought along his own personal computer when he went on the mission to terra firma. Maybe the trusty laptop he had used when he was studying at the academy. I added more layers of filtering for the search. Portable. Extremely reliable. Made at least 15 years ago. Able to communicate seamlessly across planetary broadband platforms. And then I remembered my father's favorite color. Orange. In my mind's eye, I immediately saw a rotating image of a small prism tinted orange. It was made up of 12 five-sided glass panes. One pentagon served as the top, another as the bottom. There were 2 rows of 5 similar pentagon panels making up the sides of what looked like a miniature version of a Death Star. It was the Tusk 512, a clever Alpernokian computer that linked communications, computation, and home entertainment into a single device the size of a paperweight. According to my internal database, its primary component was a mineral called fleuroniumide.
I'm sorry, what?
I know, pretty weird name for it, but okay. Which can only be found in the deep pit mines of Alpernock. I extended my right arm straight out in front of me. I flipped up my hand and flexed open my fingers. I was transforming my palm into the high-precision search coil of a VLF metal detector. The kind of minesweeper you see being used by those dorks on the beach, searching for buried treasure. Hand open and arm fully extended, I marched across the hard-scrabble remnants of our backyard and into the woods behind our farmhouse. The pings in my ears grew louder and closer together. Soon I was hiking through the lush green grass at the edge of the salt marsh. The pings became a steady beat. I knelt down, pulled out a rooty plant, scraped away 6 inches of muck, and there it was. My father's emergency backup computer, made of non-corrosive fleuroniumide, with a battery that constantly recharged itself whenever it was within 3 feet of salty water. The Alpernokian Tusk 512. I picked up the Tusk and studied the 12 animated screens. One gave me the current weather conditions for Earth and several other planets. Another was running an old Charlie Chaplin movie.
A what movie?
I have no idea. In a third, a text message scrolled across the screen. It was from my father. "Hello, Daniel. I hope you are well. Remember, son, you must always have a backup. It isn't a weakness. It is a strength." Well, seems that Daniel might actually have a way to take down the prayer. If this thing really does have the prayer's weakness in it, as he believes it to be, he'll be that much closer to taking the guy down.
Again, big if there.
True, it is still a pretty big if. Chapter 31. Hungry from all my teleporting and tromping around in the woods, I returned with the Tusk computer to the backyard of my old home and quickly materialized a picnic blanket and a basket filled with food. Nothing too fancy, just all the foods I used to love to eat when we lived in Kansas. Pan-fried chicken, shack sausage, candied sweet potatoes, squash cobbler, German baked beans, sunflower state wheat bread, black walnut pie. Dear God, this is making me hungry!
Me too! Please stop!
Thankfully, that's the end of the list of food, but my gosh! Woo! They had me at candied sweet potatoes.
The pie.
And the pie. I might end up having to eat something after this.
I wish I could eat.
If there were any leftovers, I'd save them for Joe. When my stomach finally stopped growling after my second drumstick, I held the Tusk 512 in my hand as if it were a magic 8-ball and said, "What can you tell me about the prayer?" Every screen on the Tusk flashed to life with images and background information. I saw movies, heard audio clips, read classified documents, and then received what the computer called its executive summary. The creature known as the Prayer, currently operating on terra firma in the guise of an oversized praying mantis, is the most evil alien outlaw of the current millennium. It has been responsible for countless deaths and untold destruction. Its planet of origin is unknown. Its powers have been recorded as unlimited. It has no conscience, no emotions. It is pure evil incarnate. As such, it acts like a magnet, attracting lesser evil beings into its orbit of influence. That's why the prayer was at the top of the list. He was the godfather of the mutant mafia.
Cool.
I know, that is a pretty good way of putting it. The thing was bad to the bone. Worse than all the other alien outlaws drawn to serve its overwhelming negative energy. The Tusk computer kept downloading its executive summary. Things didn't get much better.
What else was there?
Well, it says right here, its area of infestation includes much of the galaxy known by Earthlings as the Milky Way. It has also, in the past, orchestrated assaults on your home planet, Alpernock. Number 1's current danger rating is at the highest level. In numeric terms, it is listed as 99.999999. The creature intends to eradicate a large section of the known universe. Special abilities include telepathy, time warping, level 9 speed, level 11 strength. Wait, level 11? I thought. There is no level 11. Shape-shifting, severe pain infliction, extreme cunning, overwhelming maliciousness, depraved indifference to life. Okay, I had heard enough. Okay, I get the picture. So how do I defeat an evil this intense? Answer is unknown at this time. Well, do you have any suggestions? Perhaps. Please be advised, this is an untested hypothesis. What? Perhaps you could counteract number 1's negative force with slightly more than an equal measure of positive energy. Really? Fight evil with good?
That's really all you got?
That's actually what he says next. That's all you've got?
Most cliche thing ever.
Indeed, that does seem a bit of a cliche. It is a notion worthy of your thoughtful consideration. By tipping the balance in the universal duality between good and evil, you may be able to overwhelm number 1 and eliminate his threat to this galaxy. Duality. There was that word again. The same one the strange girl on the train had called a fascinating concept. One that might be good for you to remember.
Ooh, dun dun dun!
That was actually well called for.
Thank you.
You're welcome. But yeah, this might mean that our hypothesis is right. That little girl might just have something to do with this. She might be the backup spiritual advisor.
Yes, give my theory recognition.
Okay, this will be the last chapter.
Oh, really?
Hey, we gotta make sure that we're all set for New Year's, okay? Plus, I kind of want to have this finish as quickly as we can, you know?
Yeah, alright, fine.
I'm glad you saw it my way, little buddy. Chapter 32. Now the Tusk computer's panels glowed an orange-red. This is the color of the Legions of the Light, the computer reported. The color of confidence and creative power. Your color. Who are the Legions of the Light? I asked. Those who bravely battle against Zabul, the forces of darkness. The Legions of the Light are bathed in the warmth of the sun. Okay, I said, eager for a little backup of my own. Where exactly are these warm and glowing legions? I could definitely use an army right about now. Wherever you find negative energy, you will also find its positive opposite. The two must always be in balance for the universe to maintain its equilibrium. This duality explains how you would come from Alpernach to protect the universe while others could come from the same planet to destroy it. And number one is trying to tip the scales once and for all towards Zabul and darkness. Such is the hypothesis. In other words, the computer didn't really know.
That ain't very useful intel.
Indeed, not helpful at all. But, the mechanical voice continued, the light is powerful. For centuries, it has inspired the alien hunters of the Alpernokian Protectorship. It has moved Earthlings such as Baha'u'llah, Mahatma Gandhi, and Abraham Lincoln to seek out the better sides of human nature.
Whoa. The Abraham friggin' Lincoln?
I know, right? And Gandhi. Huh.
Now that's all kind of
Jeez.
crazy, man.
To think this light had such an influence on Earthlings. Let's see. Where was I? Oh, right. Parasites of human nature. It is the force that will communicate to you through Xanthos and Michaela, your spiritual advisors. Wait. Michaela was my spiritual advisor too? I nodded, soaking it all in. May I help you with anything else at this time, Graf? Asked the computer. No, I said without telling the thing I wasn't my dad. Thanks. I sat there for a moment, staring at the Tusk computer, which, having answered my questions, had flipped back to televising 12 different kinds of soccer being played on planets scattered across the universe. You remind me so much of your father, said a gentle voice behind me. I turned around. It was Michaela.
Train girl!
Yep, the girl from the train, and the one who would help me save the world.
I knew it!
And as much as I want to continue on, I'm going to do exactly as I said, and we're going to end that there.
We are getting so close now, I can feel it.
Indeed, we are close now. We are close to figuring out everything. A lot of things have come to light, and a lot of things from previous chapters suddenly begin to make more sense.
That's right, because you see, I knew it. I had my suspicions about that girl since the last couple of chapters ago.
Yes, we all know very well your suspicions of the Michaela girl, and now we know that you were justified in your suspicions. Except if I recall correctly, I get the feeling I'm pretty sure you said that she might have been working for the prayer.
Okay, yes, I won't lie there. That was my suspicion at first, but I'm glad it was not the case.
Yes, indeed. It is nice to know that your theory was wrong. But in a good way. So, Michaela's come back into the scene. We now have a new portable computer that apparently doesn't know how to identify people who are using it.
Nor be able to help you find a weakness in the enemy you need.
But at least it's somewhere. So, that will end that storytelling for tonight. I know what y'all are probably wondering. What's going to happen now? Will Michaela know the weakness to the prayer? Honestly, I'm kind of hoping so.
She better. Our Danny boy could use it.
It really would be helpful.
Oh, absolutely. Very helpful.
Like, super.
Extremely even.
But we'll just have to figure out next time. So, hope you all enjoy a great New Year's Eve. And have an excellent New Year's Day. Have fun watching the ball drop.
Happy New Year, everybody.
This is Jake Flame.
And Puppy. Signing out.